I admit, you know, I'm lying flat down and admitting that I want to call the guy a fascist, you know, in a heated discussion.
Okay.
And I felt so bad about it, so I deleted the message about 15 minutes later. How much would you pay for access to Facebook if you had to pay for it?
I'm not using it that much, so I would probably not pay for it, but I am paying for reaching the people who are using it. But that's using ads.
Mm.
But otherwise, there are other channels. I'm not particularly fond of Facebook in general, so I wouldn't pay for it, no.
Well, actually, you have a option with YouTube that if you pay for it, you could get rid of all the ads.
Yeah, I do that.
And they can be very annoying. So you actually pay something for YouTube. How much does the YouTube access cost then with no ads?
60 kroners a month, I think. Swedish kroners.
Yes. They still are tapping out what preferences you have, what videos you watch, and so on.
Yeah, they do.
You know, so they make you pay for it with money, with ready money, and they make you pay for it with your data.
Yes.
I don't know if this comparison will work in a video like this. Otherwise, you must cut it on. But have you ever heard that there is a standard within lawyers? The lawyer business is that you're not supposed to fuck your clients. You know what that is? Because it's considered unethical is to build the client to build a client 2 times for essentially the same things. But you are actually paying 2 times for essentially the same service in YouTube, aren't you?
No. Basically, I'm paying my data so that they can provide me with quality videos that I want to watch. And I'm fine with that as long as they're not kind of using that data to provide advertisers information about me so they can show relevant ads.
Oh, but they probably are. It's just that you might not see the ads in YouTube, but you see them everywhere else. Anyway, the specific reason for me to bring up this topic is that there's a new thing from Apple with a new version of iOS. They will block the submission of data as default, and you have to agree specifically that they can tap you for whatever data, you know, put cookies or whatever they do, you know, on your device. Yeah. And they expect that about 80% will say no.
Yeah.
That will be a disruption of the business model for instance, Facebook.
Yeah, and everyone who is using Facebook for reaching out to their market is right now panicking.
Yeah, well, I can understand that, but I guess so is Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah, he's probably not that happy about the choice. No,
I wouldn't think so. So of course you can discuss what are the implications of this new thing from Apple, and you could also ask yourself, why is Apple doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Are they doing it because they care so much about the users out there, they want to protect them? Or maybe they're trying to disrupt the business of YouTube and Facebook. You know, I don't know what's the real plan behind all this, but we have a situation where, when the internet started, no one was paying for anything, And people who put something on the internet was happy if somebody watched it. So no one was thinking about making money. And can you imagine that some American guy, student on a university, set up a server for making it possible for the fellow students to chat.
Yeah.
And he told everybody, but you have to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine how successful that would have been, or not have been?
Yeah.
So you set up these things here, and I would think that no one thought about these things in advance, but okay, you have this social media platforms, and then suddenly you find out, hey, actually there's gold here. Mm-hmm. In form of the data.
Yeah.
And then, because in the beginning, there was this problem with the business plan. You had Twitter, for instance. Can they exist? Can they keep exist? That was one of the questions for a long time, because there's no business plan. How do they make money?
Yeah.
And the same for Facebook is now everybody knows how they make money. Mm-hmm. We've sort of been caught with our pants down. Suddenly we found out, oops, they know everything about us.
Yeah.
But nobody thought about that. And they've known everything for years and years, before we actually now finally finds out what it's all about.
Yeah.
And now we're used to not paying, we're accustomed not to paying for these services here. So we might consider, should we pay for it? Or what should we do?
Yeah. So, and that's the big struggle amongst the different social media platforms as well. Mm-hmm. So that's why every time there's a new social media platform popping up, stealing attention, like Clubhouse. And when TikTok came along, everyone wanted to have a short format video. So all of these stories popped up on the platforms, and Facebook are starting to do more focus on video content to kind of mimic more of what YouTube is doing. So they are kind of picking some good pieces from each other, and in the end they will all be the same, more or less, because they are copying each other so much. And I think Facebook also released some features that are similar to Clubhouse as well, where you can do audio chats or something. Or they're looking into it, at least. If there's something new, shiny object that users start to look at, then they also want to provide that kind of service. So, but there's still not something that people are willing to pay for directly. Otherwise, you have to create a service with for payments directly. And I think that's actually the most sound choice to make if you want to make a social media platform today. Actually make sure that you have a service that provides a lot of value apart from the social aspect, and perhaps try to charge money for it, and see if that's if you have something that you can charge for that picks up as a social media platform, then you will probably do well. You won't conquer the world, but you have the possibility to grow and run a more respectable social media platform than most of the large ones, I would assume.
Well, yeah, you got one yourself, haven't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And it's not for free.
And it's not for free. No, but it in the beginning, as an outset, it was for free, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was for a long time. But we didn't make that much on ads either. So we decided that we don't want any ads. We don't want any tracking. We don't want any of that. We're just going to have the platform by itself and let the members finance the the hosting fees and development that's on it. And I would say we succeeded quite well. We don't have more expenses than we get in. And even though we want to grow, the platform is working fine with the turnover we have, and we don't have to do anything about it. But if we want to put more effort into it, we could.
How many users are it at the moment? Do you have a...
Yeah, since it's a social platform where you meet physically, it has been dropping since Corona. But in general, we have about 1,000 active users who go on events every year. And right now we're down to 600 or 700, I guess.
And then, you know, on a different note, but also with the social platforms, there's a discussion going on in Denmark, but probably elsewhere as well, that there are too many hateful messages on the social platform. And to the extent that it's actually a threat to the democratic discussion, as they're saying, because a lot of people are not expressing their viewpoints because they don't want to get a shitload of comments back in the head. And so politicians and other good people are discussing what to do about it. And one of the suggestions in the Danish discussion is that when you log into like Facebook, you would have to log in with your social security number. So they could find you afterwards if you threaten some people or something like that. Some of the politicians are very, very happy about this suggestion. I think that's very, very good. And I think, well, if you want to control the society, that's what you want. That's what
they do in China.
Yeah, well, I was thinking China and Thailand and North Korea and Myanmar and all these places. Oh, they would love that, wouldn't they?
Yeah, well, China does that.
Yeah, yes, they already do.
Yeah.
But they can't do it with Facebook yet.
No, they just block Facebook all over.
Yeah.
So Facebook is not allowed. You have to use the Chinese version.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think that's a very good idea. I think that if I had to log in with my social security number, I would probably stop using the shit altogether, you know.
Yeah.
Complete. What's the worst thing you ever did on Facebook?
On Facebook?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I did any worst thing.
I admit, you know, I'm lying flat down and admitting that I once called a guy a fascist, you know, in a heated discussion.
Okay.
Yeah. And I felt so bad about it, so I deleted the message about 15 minutes later.
Okay.
You can't say that. You can't say things like that to people.
No.
But he was a fascist.
Yeah. No, I'm too timid to write anything like that.
No, you would never do anything like that.
No.
Well.
Yeah.
Confession of the day.
Did you get any answer about the Apple strategy?
No, I am not sure. No, I'm not. I think it will be revealed to us, you know, but I don't quite understand yet what it's all about.
No, either it is a strategy for them. It's a differentiator for their phones, because if you buy an Android phone, you will definitely be traced by Google at least, and they are not blocking Facebook. So it's a differentiator. If you buy an Apple phone, you will be more secure and you will have more privacy. So that will probably be some of the sales pitch in their marketing, and that will, I think they believe they will sell more phones doing that. So that's one of the goals behind it. But of course, they've been in battles with both Google and Facebook for a long time. And if they can do anything to diminish the financial gains of those companies, it's a win for Apple anyway.
Yeah, you know, it's like on another planet, you know, they're making so fucking much money, you know.
Yeah.
And still it's not enough.
No.
But still, I would, I welcome somehow the privacy protection on the internet.
Yeah, but you
Or
can
the-
just
the-
download
yeah.
the Brave browser and use that instead.
Oh yes, you could, and I always already have the Onion browser. I had that for years, you know.
Yeah.
And in principle, I could use DuckDuckGo instead of Google. But there's also a problem here, because one are criticizing the Google algorithm for always presenting you for the answers that they know that you want. But that's one of the good things about Google.
Yeah.
I'm 90% of my questions, you know, I'm sent directly to some technical web page, you know, with an answer for my question.
Yeah.
And that's what I want. I don't want to have any philosophical or whatever, you know, answer to what question, you know, I have, because it is technical.
Yeah.
So it sort of works, you know. I'm happy about it. But then again, you just ask your question about some technical issue, and then the moment after, you got ads on your browser targeted from precisely that topic.
So that's how dependent you are on Google.
Yeah. I don't know.
But they're doing a good job. So in that sense.
We're getting back to the question, you know.
Yeah.
I think it's arising again. Do you actually want to get out of the matrix, or would you prefer to stay inside?
Exactly. Do you want to get back in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good question. Yeah, well.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.